Hello, moviegoers, and welcome to another edition of Have You Seen It? I'm your host, Denise, and I'm going to fly right into my review for this week. This movie just came out today, so I had to be in the theater to see it. The movie I'm going to review is simply called Air. It is the movie about Michael Jordan and his famous Air Jordan tennis shoe and how this tennis shoe became the classic, the iconic, popular shoe that it still is today. This movie stars Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Viola Davis, Julius Tenen, Jason Bateman, Chris Tucker, Marlon Wayans, Christopher, or I'll say Chris Messina, and Matthew Marr. So, in this movie, you know, whenever you have a Ben Affleck, Matt Damon duo, you're going to get a pretty good product. Not only does Ben Affleck star in this movie, but he also directs as well. So in this movie, Matt Damon plays the role of Sonny Vaccaro. He is a marketing executive for Nike. And Ben Affleck's character is Phil Knight, who is the CEO of Nike. So Sonny's job, or what he's trying to do to, you know, kind of pull Nike above what Converse and Adidas are doing, is he's trying to get a basketball shoe deal. And the person that he is trying to pursue is Michael Jordan. So, of course, you know, he's got to jump through hoops and sell the CEO and Michael's agent, and of course his parents, on why this is a good thing, not only for Nike, but Michael Jordan. Now, of course, Michael Jordan is reluctant to sign with Nike because, you know, for what everybody has seen and heard, it seems like Michael Jordan is leaning toward Adidas, like heavily leaning toward Adidas, with Converse in second place. So you've got all of these shoe giants, you know, pursuing this young man. So in doing so, Matt Damon's character is confident that if I say the right thing, I talk to the right person, I really think I can seal this deal. So at this time, we're in the 80s now, at this particular moment in time, the offer that they were extending to Michael Jordan was peanuts it compared to what rookies are being offered in the NBA right now. So Viola Davis plays his mom. So basically, mom is the person that you have to convince. So we all know the closeness that Michael Jordan and his mom, Dolores, have. So you got to go through her because she is in his ear in a big way. And obviously, he leans on her for that support and that advice in this arena. So we all know what happened with Nike. So you fast forward and we've got the Air Jordan. But what I liked about this movie is I didn't know how the Air Jordan came to be. I just knew it's a tennis shoe and it's got his name on it, and that was it. But this movie does a really good job of showing you just how that business world works when you are in pursuit of that one person who's going to make your company bigger and better than it is in a major, major way. Because Nike was just a company and where running shoes was their gig. Okay, that was what they did, and you know that's where they, you know, that's where their bread and butter came from. So a basketball shoe was a stretch, if you will. So this movie shows all of those pieces of that puzzle coming together. You've got the agent, you've got the CEO you've got to convince. You've got other executives you have to convince. You've got to you're up against, again, Adidas and Converse, who at the time were way up here in terms of percentage of shoe sales, tennis shoe sales. So fast forward, the deal gets done, and Matt Damon, in that character of Sonny Vaccaro, did a pretty nice job of convincing Dolores Jordan that this is the way to go. And I liked Viola Davis's portrayal in this movie because there wasn't a whole lot of, back and forth and arguing and things like that kind of happen when you are trying to iron out a contract or you're trying to sell somebody on your product. She was very matter of fact. She laid it on the line. This is what he wants. This is what he needs to receive in order for you to have my son sign on the dotted line. And that was basically it. She just put her cards on the table. Take it or leave it. So as the movie goes on, you just see how all of those pieces come together. And the cool part for me was the design of that Air Jordan. And oh, by the way, I just happen to have a pair of Air Jordans right here. Now, if you notice, if you look at the Air Jordan, when the shoe was being designed, the execs were kind of going back and forth, and they were like, well, it needs a little bit more red. Well, this is something I didn't know. The NBA had strict rules about how much white had to be part of the shoe design. So they're, hard, fast rules. And if you stray from that, you have to pay a fine. And so Michael Jordan, in signing that contract, was willing to pay that fine. Well, Nike was willing to pay that fine for him. So there you have it. The Air Jordan. All right. So cinematography, excellent. The soundtrack, you got 1984 happening here. I'm in my seat singing and tapping my feet to the soundtrack because it was fantastic. The movie really captured the cultural vibe of that era. You've got, like I said, you've got the technology, the technology from beepers, pagers, car phones that were as big as my hand. You got the music, very nostalgic, like I said, the style, the fashion, the clothes, the hair, everything. So my review of Air is a pretty solid review. So if you just want to know the background about this shoe and why people are still buying them today, I would say check this movie out. Whether you like Michael Jordan or not, or whether you like basketball or not, it's a really good story. And a little tips before I move on. Michael Jordan specifically requested Viola Davis play his mother. And in this movie, you want to stay to the end because there's a lot of history that you're going to see on the screen. This shoe sold over 160 million. This shoe garnered over 160 million in sales the first year. Okay, so I think that's pretty cool. So there you have it, my review of Air. Check it out at your theater. All right, so going into my Nailed It, folks. My Nailed It for this week is Jonathan Rhys Meyers, whom I love. He played, he was in the movie The Good Neighbor, and I saw it a few months ago, so I either saw it on Netflix or Hulu. So if you want to check it out, try both of those. He played a neighbor who was crazy because he befriended someone who had committed a crime. And although the person felt remorse in committing the crime and wanted to like turn themselves in and just, suffer the consequences, Jonathan Rhys Meyers had other plans. Creepy, in your face kind of neighbor that scared the heck out of me. So he is my nailed it for this week. So folks, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And we are available on every podcast platform in the universe. Just type in, have you seen it with Denise? And there I will be. All right, folks, so you know the deal. Until next week, I need you to go see a movie because I'm going to see a movie. Bye-bye.